All right, guys, what is up? Happy Tuesday. I'm Hayley Lewis. You guys already know it. This is Chiefs News Daily. It is Saints Week. It has been a lot about Rashee Rice and all the drama going on the injury front for Kansas City. But now we are looking forward to some Monday Night Football. The Saints coming here to Arrowhead, another primetime matchup. And we got Erin Summers joining us. She is beat reporter for the Saints. Girl, you have a lot of things, though, on your resume. Also working for ACC Network, NFL Network, ESPN, the Pelicans as well. It is a busy time for you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, so happy to be here. Really looking forward to this Monday Night Football matchup in Kansas City. Saints have a lot to figure out before then, but it should be a good one.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. There's a lot of familiar faces, and I think that's maybe one of the biggest headlines going into this is that the Chiefs are going to see a lot of people that they know previously on their team or previously in their division. AFC West former guy, Derek Carr, very familiar with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are very familiar with him as well. Also, you guys got, Willie Gay this year. You have Tyrann Mathieu. You got Colin Saunders, just to name a few. So very familiar with the team. The similarities, though, the defense and just the similarities between these two squads, what do you think is going to be probably the biggest challenge for the Saints coming into Arrowhead?
Coming into this game, the Saints are dealing with a lot of injuries. A couple of those players that you mentioned there that would be looking to get back to that stadium and play there again. And they always love to get up for their former team and kind of being back there and wanting to get the upper hand on them. But safety Tyrann Mathieu went out of the game on Sunday with an injury to his groin. So we're watching that. And then also linebacker Willie Gay Jr. had gotten his first start with the Saints on Sunday. He was replacing Demario Davis, who has been out. And Willie came out of the game early with a hand injury. So his status also something that we're watching. So the defense got a little banged up in this one. Colin Saunders did make his season debut, though, because he had been out with injury as well. So we're really liking that this week has an extra day in it because we need time to rest and recover. Schematically, though, for the Saints this season under offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, it has all been about getting that run game going. And they have done a phenomenal job, despite some injuries on the O-line as well, of really leaning into that. Running back Alvin Kamara has hit another level. He looks better than he ever has and has been phenomenal for this team. So he's really what gets this team going and then allows Derek Carr that time to pick and choose his spots where he wants to go offensively, whether it's a deep ball to somebody like Rashid Shaheed or some of those intermediary passes with Chris Olave.
So it sounds like both teams are dealing with a pretty equal amount of injuries. You guys coming in to this Monday Night Football game, you said a little bit more rest. That's great. But, two losses in a row, if you could pinpoint it, but then, not giving up a touchdown against the Falcons, who have just been, the Chiefs recently faced them. They know how electric they are. What do you think is the biggest issue going on right now with the Saints?
That is the biggest question. Being in the locker room yesterday, every single player is frustrated. They don't understand why they feel like they have a great team. Everybody on paper is phenomenal. And it looked great through the first two games of the season. You put up 91 points and you still have the biggest scoring differential in the league because of that. But these last two games have been very difficult. They've come down to the last minute or two of each game, and the Saints haven't been able to lock up the victory. They were winning with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left to go against Philly, and then 1 minute left to go against Atlanta, and they lose both of those. So that's the question is, defensively, they played so well, and they do play an aggressive style, which is going to be risky at times. To not allow a single touchdown in that Falcons game offensively, and then on the last play there, really a big penalty on one of our cornerbacks allowed them to get into field goal range and win the game at the last minute. So that's it. Is it execution? Is it focus? Is it preparation? Those are all questions that have to be answered if the Saints are going to be contenders and be able to win those close games, because that's the nature of the NFL.
Whenever you discover something new, the first thing you want to do is share it with your friends so they can experience it too. That's kind of what it feels like when you discover that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service for just $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. It's such an awesome deal, there's no way you can keep it to yourself. No more negotiating with big wireless companies for overpriced plans, and no more hidden fees with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your friends with premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. And if you're worried about keeping your own phone and keeping your contacts, you can bring all of that along when you switch to Mint Mobile. So ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for just $15 a month. To get this new customer offer on your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. That's mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/KCSNCND. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, Erin, you just mentioned it there. The fact that they did so well against the Panthers, so well. Honestly, the Cowboys really was the game for me where I was like, okay, the Saints might be a little bit dicey this season. This is a bit scary for the Chiefs. And then for things not to work out, but be by such close margins, not finding that way to finish. Kansas City has been on the opposite of that. They have found a way to finish miraculously sometimes in games that you just think, how in the heck are they finding a way to win? So when you look at a team like that, what do you think is the biggest fear for Saints coming into Arrowhead? Is it the environment? Is it the way that they just find ways to win? I mean, they're banged up. So what do the Saints think of Kansas City?
The Saints right now are really focusing on themselves. They had too many mistakes in the past 2 games to worry too much about the environment and what Kansas City has been able to do when they've had their back up against the wall. There was a muff punt that led to a touchdown, and I don't know why. And even Rashid Shaheed, the one who muffed the punt, tried to field the punt within the 5, and just something that doesn't happen, that is uncharacteristic of him. And then you have the interception that goes for a pick 6. So you gift a team 14 points in the first half of a game, and that's not a recipe for success. And the penalties really got the Saints in this one as well. So it's those things that they're doing that are hurting themselves, putting them, behind the sticks in situations where they don't need to be, that is going to be the big focus. Obviously, you do have to think about who is on the other side of the field when you're going into Arrowhead and how crazy of an environment that is.
Sure.
But I think the Saints are going to be uber focused going into this one because of how things have fallen in the last couple weeks.
Yep, you're right. Play sound fundamental football, focus on yourself. It sounds like they're also going to continue to, lean on that run game. Do you feel like that would be a key in this game?
Yeah, absolutely. This offense is predicated on establishing the run, and it's done a very good job, the line holding and allowing Kamara to find spots to hit holes. And then he's just a very dynamic, versatile player that you can use in multiple ways. He leads the league right now in touches, yards, and touchdowns. So he's performing at a completely different level, not only just as a back, but as somebody who is also used in the pass game. So he really gets things going for them offensively. And Taysom Hill has been a huge cog in this as well. And he left the game Sunday with injury. So not having him, did not have him in the game against the Eagles as well, does seem like it has a big effect on this offense and what they're able to do, because he is a bigger back and he's able to kind of muscle you in those short yardage situations. So that 1-2 punch with Kamara and Hill is key for the Saints offense. They really do want to get the run game going. So then again, Carr is not forcing plays and trying to pick up a ton of yards on third down.
Now, I'm not sure how your guys' availability goes this week with the game being, one extra day. If you've been able to talk to the team, been in the locker room quite yet, but if you have, what is the morale like? With all of these different injuries, with all of these plagues that it seems like is hitting the Saints at the wrong time, what has the team been, or what's been the response?
The fact that the team was dealing with so many injuries going into this game and then continued to suffer injuries throughout the game, it's crazy as it might be, that continue to get more injured at the same positions throughout this one. But despite shooting themselves in the foot a few times, they were able to fight back and have a chance to win this game, and could have really won this game against the Falcons. So I think that it's twofold. They're upset with, the situation, the injuries, the mistakes, but the fact that they were able to come together and face that adversity and still come out with a chance to win gives them a lot of confidence in what this team can be when they're fully healthy and when they're executing at a high level. Very well could be 4-0 right now if a couple things went different in the last 2 games. So you don't want to sit here and hang on that, because then, yes, mentally you're going to find yourself in a very bad spot. But you got to kind of take what you can from the last 2 games, and they're confident that they're going to be able to bounce back and perform better going forward.
So I'll leave you with this question then. What would a win mean for the Saints to be able to knock off the reigning Super Bowl champs, to be able to, put one against their undefeated record that they have so far? What would that mean for this team?
It's early in the season, but we're in a critical point because the Saints go to Kansas City and have to play on Monday night, and then they have the Bucs at home on Sunday, and then they play the Broncos on Thursday night. So they really have 2 short weeks. They have 3 games in 11 days.
Ooh.
So if they aren't able to win this first one and kind of, to your point, help with the morale of the team, build some confidence around what they can do, it could turn into a slippery slope for them with the condensed weeks and a really emotional game on Thursday Night Football against the Broncos, their former head coach and Sean Payton, coming up in a couple weeks. So, yeah, it would be huge for this team to breathe a sigh of relief and kind of take a breath before they hit a difficult stretch here.
Well, both teams going into this one very banged up. I know that the Chiefs also have a similar part of their schedule down the end of the stretch of the season. 10 days, 3 games within that span.
It's crazy.
It's wild this season, what it's done to every team. But Erin, appreciate you taking the time being on with us. We will see your banged up Saints against our banged up Chiefs here on Monday Night Football in some prime time. Appreciate everyone, as always, for joining us here on Chiefs News Daily. Make sure you like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday.